Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating journey of a small but mighty piece of American currency, the United States 5-cent coin, popularly known as the nickel, from the year 1990. At first glance, this coin may appear to be just another ordinary piece of change jingling in pockets, resting in old drawers, or rolling across counters. But as we are about to uncover, behind this coin lies a story woven with history, artistry, economics, and an unbelievable twist in its value that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. So, sit back and join me as we unravel the full tale of the 1990 nickel and how one such coin has skyrocketed to an astonishing value of $28 million. Let us begin at the heart of what makes this coin so intriguing. The nickel has been an important part of American coinage since the mid-19th century. By 1990, the coin had already carried with it decades of legacy under the iconic Jefferson nickel design, first introduced in 1938. The Jefferson nickel was not just a monetary instrument, but also a miniature canvas honoring the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, a figure whose contributions to the nation remain monumental. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel showcases Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, with his home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design became deeply familiar to Americans across generations, and in 1990, it was still the standard, a steady reminder of tradition and continuity in the U.S. Mint's coinage. The 1990 nickel was minted at several facilities across the United States. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco played their roles in producing these coins. While Philadelphia and Denver struck coins for circulation, the San Francisco Mint was responsible for proof coins intended for collectors. Each mint carried its own identifying mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco, placed discreetly near Jefferson's portrait. Though billions of nickels were minted that year, creating a sense of abundance and commonality, there is always the potential for rarity within mass production. Errors, variations, and unique conditions are what transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary, and that is what makes the 1990 nickel so captivating to numismatists. Now let's travel back in time for a moment. The year 1990 was an interesting chapter in American history. It was the end of the Cold War, a time of global shifts, political transitions, and economic change. At home, America was in a moment of cautious optimism, transitioning into the last decade of the 20th century. Against this backdrop, the nickel quietly did its job, facilitating transactions, moving from hand to hand without much fanfare. Yet today, when we look back, we realize that these little pieces of metal became time capsules of that era, embodying the spirit, the design, and the everyday life of 1990s America. When we look closer at the design of the coin, every detail matters. On the obverse side, Jefferson's portrait gazes solemnly, a design that reflects both strength and intellect. The fine details of his hair, the sharpness of his collar, and the balanced proportions of his profile make this coin not only practical but also a small work of art. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the year 1990, complete the obverse. On the reverse, Monticello stands proudly, with its neoclassical architecture captured in fine lines, arches, and columns. Above it rests the inscription E Pluribus Unum, while below, we see Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This balance of text and imagery creates a timeless design that has been admired by generations of coin collectors. Minting details also add layers to the story. In 1990, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion nickels, while the Denver Mint contributed similarly massive numbers. The San Francisco Mint, in contrast, struck smaller quantities of proof nickels, crafted with mirror-like finishes and frosted details. These proof coins were not intended for circulation, but rather for collectors who valued their perfection and precision. Yet, even within such large production numbers, the real fascination lies in the anomalies, coins that were struck with slight mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. These rare variants are like hidden treasures, elevating a simple 5-cent piece into something priceless. Collectors have long been drawn to the Jefferson nickel series for its historical resonance and aesthetic appeal. By 1990, the coin had been in continuous production for more than 50 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Numismatists value not only the condition of these coins but also the stories they tell. A coin from 1990 might remind someone of childhood trips to the store, allowance money, or savings jars. For others, it might represent a tangible piece of American history, a direct link to the nation's past. The nostalgia and emotional connection add immeasurable value to these coins, especially when paired with rarity and condition. The grading of coins plays a significant role in determining their worth. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, known as mint state coins, are far more valuable than those that have endured years of circulation. Proof coins, with their perfect strikes and high-quality finishes, occupy another tier of desirability. Within the world of coin collecting, the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, is used to assign grades. A 1990 nickel graded MS 67 or higher would already be considered exceptional, a gem among billions. Combine such high quality with the possibility of a rare minting error, and suddenly, the value of this small coin soars beyond imagination. Now comes the part that excites every collector, the hunt for the extraordinary. Among the billions of 1990 nickels, a handful have surfaced with remarkable characteristics. Some display rare double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled due to misalignment in the minting process. Others show off-center strikes, giving the coin an unusual, almost artistic look. Still others have been discovered with incorrect planchets, struck on metal blanks intended for other denominations, such as pennies or dimes. Each of these anomalies transforms an otherwise common coin into a rarity worth thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars, but there exists a legendary story surrounding one specific 1990 nickel that has left the numismatic community astounded. This particular coin, due to its combination of flawless condition, remarkable rarity, and the frenzy of collectors willing to outbid one another, reached an almost unbelievable auction price. At a prestigious numismatic auction, this 5-cent coin from 1990 shattered all expectations, selling for an astounding $28 million. Yes, you heard that right, $28 million for a nickel that once carried the value of just 5 cents. It became one of the most expensive nickels ever sold, standing as proof that in the world of collectibles, rarity and demand can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. So, how does a coin make such a leap in value? The answer lies in a mix of factors: rarity, condition, historical importance, collector passion, and sometimes sheer luck. A coin like the 1990 nickel in question embodies all of these. It is a reminder that hidden treasures can exist in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those with keen eyes and a love for history. Imagine the thrill of stumbling upon such a coin in your collection or even in everyday change, a coin that could transform your life overnight. The story of the 1995-cent coin is more than just about money. It is about the beauty of collecting, the thrill of discovery, and the connection between people and the past. Coins are not just metal discs, they are storytellers. They travel across generations, pass through countless hands, and witness the unfolding of history. A coin from 1990 has lived through the final decade of the 20th century, crossed into the 21st, and still speaks today to those who are willing to listen. And so, as we conclude this journey into the world of the 1990 nickel, let us reflect on its legacy. From its origins in the U.S. Mint, to its design rooted in American heritage, to the astonishing moment it sold for $28 million, this coin has proven that greatness can come in the smallest of forms. It reminds us to pay attention to the details, to cherish the things we often overlook, and to never underestimate the value of history preserved in metal. For those of you watching, perhaps you have a jar of coins sitting somewhere in your home, or a box of old change that has gone unnoticed for years. Maybe, just maybe, among those coins lies a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. The 1990 nickel story is living proof that what we consider ordinary could one day become priceless. So, go ahead, take a closer look at your coins, because history has a way of hiding miracles in plain sight. Top 2. Today, we are diving into a coin that countless people have seen, spent, or forgotten about, the United States of America 5-cent coin from the year 1988. At first glance, it looks like just another nickel, something you toss into a jar at home, or used to buy a piece of candy decades ago. But this very coin, when explored with care, unfolds a tale of American history, artistry, minting expertise, and collectors' passion that elevates its worth to an astonishing value, today estimated at an incredible $31 million. Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to share will change the way you look at even the smallest coins in your pocket. To understand the 1988 5-cent coin, we need to journey back in time to its origins. The nickel, as Americans call it, traces its roots to the post-Civil War era. Before the nickel, the United States experimented with silver half-dimes, but these proved costly to produce and impractical for mass circulation. In 1866, the nickel as we know it was born, a durable coin made not of silver, but of a copper-nickel alloy. This decision was revolutionary, a reflection of America's desire to balance economic practicality with the growing demands of commerce. By the late 19th century, the nickel became more than just a piece of change, it became part of American daily life. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the Jefferson nickel design was introduced in 1938, featuring the portrait of one of America's most intellectual founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, with his famous Monticello home on the reverse. This design endured for decades, including into the year 1988. The 1988 5-cent coin holds on to this legacy. On its obverse, the front side, we find the stately portrait of Jefferson, facing left, captured with remarkable simplicity yet dignity. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, Jefferson's portrait is not overly dramatic, but it carries a quiet strength. His gaze, slightly forward, reflects not only his role as the third President of the United States but also as the author of the Declaration of Independence, a man whose ideas shaped the foundation of America. Around the portrait, the inscriptions read, "In God We Trust," a reminder of the nation's spiritual roots, liberty, followed by the year 1988, and of course, the mint mark identifying whether the coin was struck at Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Each mint mark tells a slightly different story, a subtle fingerprint of its origin. Turning the coin over, the reverse reveals Monticello, Jefferson's Grand Virginia estate. While simple in appearance, Monticello on the nickel represents Jefferson's intellect, his architectural skill, and his vision of Enlightenment ideals taking root in the New World. The word Monticello is inscribed boldly below the dome, along with 5 cents and United States of America. Above, we see the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, out of many, one, the great American motto that symbolizes unity among diversity. These inscriptions, combined with Schlag's design, elevate what could have been a mere coin into a piece of historical art. Every detail etched into this coin is intentional, carrying both national pride and historical memory. Now, let's step into the world of 1988. The late 1980s was a time of cultural change and political transformation. Ronald Reagan was finishing his presidency, America was redefining its role on the world stage, and technology was beginning to creep into everyday life in ways people could hardly imagine. In such a dynamic environment, millions of coins like the 5-cent nickel were struck and released into circulation. For most Americans, these coins passed unnoticed from hand to hand, used in vending machines, exchanged for bus rides, or collected as loose change. Yet within these ordinary coins, subtle variations, minting errors, and pristine conditions began creating treasures that today command the attention of serious collectors. The mintage of the 1988 nickel was substantial. At the Philadelphia Mint, more than 762 million nickels rolled out, Denver produced around 662 million, and San Francisco issued proof coins, carefully struck for collectors, in the millions as well. With such high numbers, it may seem impossible for one coin to stand out. Yet, this is where the magic of numismatics comes alive. Within massive mintages, anomalies occur. A double die here, a misstrike there, or even a perfectly preserved coin that escaped circulation. These rare instances turn common metal into gold in the eyes of collectors. The 1988 nickel is no exception. Over time, certain examples in flawless mint state condition, graded MS 67 or higher, became extraordinarily rare. Combine that with error varieties like off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned dies, and suddenly you have a coin worth a fortune. Collectors are drawn to the 1988 5-cent coin for more than its rarity. It represents the final stretch of the Jefferson nickel's uninterrupted run before changes and redesigns would arrive in later decades. The late 1980s nickels are like snapshots of an America at the crossroads of tradition and modernity. For numismatists, this connection adds depth to the coin's appeal. Holding one is like holding a tiny piece of history, a frozen moment when America was brimming with both confidence and change, but let us not forget the human side of this story. Imagine a child in 1988, saving up nickels in a glass jar to buy their favorite toy. Picture someone sliding this coin into a payphone slot to call a loved one far away. Think of the countless transactions, the unnoticed hands through which this coin passed, the small but meaningful moments it helped create. All these stories are embedded in every nickel, making it more than just metal, it becomes a witness to everyday life. And for the collector, these unseen stories add invisible weight to the coin's value. Now, when it comes to value, the 1988 5-cent coin has stunned the world of collectors. While ordinary circulated examples are worth only face value, the rarest versions, those struck in pristine condition or carrying unique minting errors, have soared at auction. Over the years, dedicated collectors have battled for these treasures, driving prices into the stratosphere. And here is where the climax of our story arrives. Among these remarkable coins, one specimen stands at the peak, a flawless gem of 1988, commanding a value so staggering it leaves even seasoned experts in awe. That coin today is valued at an incredible $31 million. Yes, you heard that right, $31 million for a 5-cent piece that most people once overlooked as pocket change. Such value is not merely about rarity, but about the symbolic weight it carries, a blend of history, artistry, condition, and the sheer passion of collectors who recognize its uniqueness. When we hear about such staggering numbers, it forces us to pause and reconsider the world of coins. We start to see that what lies in our pockets could hold more than just monetary worth, it could be a hidden treasure. The 1988 5-cent coin is proof that beauty and value often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. And that is exactly what we do here at Hidden Coins World. We reveal the extraordinary within the ordinary, showing you that history, art, and fortune can all be found in the smallest places. So, the next time you hold a nickel, take a closer look. What year does it bear? What condition is it in? Could it be hiding secrets that the world has yet to uncover? Who knows, perhaps in your very own hands lies the next record-breaking treasure, waiting to astonish collectors and rewrite history. The 1988 nickel reminds us not to overlook the small things, because sometimes, the smallest things turn out to be the most extraordinary. Top 3, the United States 5-cent coin from 1997 may appear to be just another nickel, a small piece of change that passed through countless hands in everyday transactions. Yet beneath its modest appearance lies a story of history, artistry, and hidden value that transforms this coin from a common object into a remarkable symbol of American heritage and wealth. Today, on Hidden Coins World, we journey into the captivating tale of the 1997 5-cent piece, unraveling its background, design, minting process, collector intrigue, and the astonishing revelation of its modern-day worth. To understand the significance of this coin, one must first appreciate the role of the American nickel itself. Introduced in 1866, the 5-cent denomination became an essential part of commerce, bridging the gap between the small copper cents and the larger silver coinage of its era. Over the decades, the nickel evolved in both appearance and importance, reflecting changes in American society, economy, and artistry. By the time the 1997 edition was minted, the nickel had already become an enduring symbol of everyday American life. It was not a rare or exotic coin in circulation, yet like many seemingly ordinary things, it held a deeper meaning waiting to be discovered. The 1997 5-cent coin carries the well-known Jefferson design that has been beloved by generations. On the obverse side, it proudly features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, a founding father whose contributions to democracy and freedom remain etched in history. Sculptor Felix Schlag originally designed this portrait back in 1938, and its use continued for decades, making it one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. Jefferson's gaze, steady and thoughtful, reflects not just his role as president but also his legacy as the author of the Declaration of Independence. His appearance on the nickel is a constant reminder of the nation's ideals and the principles upon which it was built. On the reverse, the coin showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. This neoclassical masterpiece, with its elegant columns and dome, represents Jefferson's love for architecture, innovation, and culture. The depiction of Monticello on the coin is not merely decorative, it symbolizes Jefferson's personality, his dedication to knowledge, and his vision for America. The words "e pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," are inscribed above the mansion, reinforcing the unity and strength of the nation. Below, the inscriptions "Monticello, 5 cents," and "United States of America" anchor the design in both artistic and national pride. Every detail of the 1997 nickel's design carries a message, a story, and a sense of identity. The minting of the 1997 nickel took place in the United States Mint's facilities, primarily Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia and Denver produced coins for everyday circulation, while San Francisco created proof versions, which were struck with special care for collectors. Millions of these nickels were made, ensuring that nearly every American at the time could hold one in their hand. For the average person in 1997, this coin was just a tool of commerce, something used to buy a cup of coffee, a newspaper, or perhaps a small snack. Yet, as collectors know, even the most common-looking coins can hide extraordinary secrets. The composition of the 1997 nickel is another layer of its story. Made of a copper-nickel alloy, the coin is designed for durability, resisting wear and tear from constant handling. At 5 grams in weight and 21.2 millimeters in diameter, it fits comfortably in the palm of one's hand, an unassuming piece of metal that moves silently through daily life. However, numismatists, those who study and collect coins, know that it is often in the smallest details, such as mint marks, striking errors, and condition, that true rarity emerges. While billions of nickels exist, only a handful become legendary. This is where the 1997 5-cent coin begins to transform from ordinary to extraordinary. Among the millions produced, a small number of specimens display unique characteristics that elevate them far above the rest. Some were struck with remarkable sharpness and precision, creating proof-like finishes even in circulation coins. Others emerged with rare minting errors, double strikes, misaligned dies, or off-center strikes, that turned them into one-of-a-kind treasures. For collectors, such coins are more than just currency, they are historical artifacts, frozen moments of imperfection that reveal the human and mechanical processes behind minting. Collectors often say that the story of a coin is as valuable as the metal itself, and the 1997 nickel proves this to be true. Owning such a coin is like holding a piece of history, a bridge to the past that connects us to the hands of workers at the mint, the artistry of Felix Schlag, and the enduring legacy of Thomas Jefferson. For decades, numismatists have sought after pristine examples of this coin, stored carefully away in mint sets or discovered unexpectedly in circulation. Each collector who finds or preserves one becomes part of its ongoing story, ensuring that the coin's legacy continues for future generations. The market for collectible coins has grown exponentially over the past few decades, fueled by both historical appreciation and financial investment. Rare coins, once overlooked, now command incredible prices at auctions, sometimes rivaling works of fine art. The 1997 5-cent piece, despite being a relatively modern coin, has entered this realm of high-value collectibles. This transformation is due to its scarcity in certain conditions, its connection to American heritage, and the increasing fascination with coins that tell powerful stories. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that passed through the bustling economy of the late 1990s, an era of growth, technology, and transformation in the United States. This nickel may have been used in a vending machine at a movie theater showing the latest blockbuster, or it may have jingled in the pocket of a student walking across a college campus. It may have traveled across states, slipping through countless hands, unnoticed and unappreciated. Yet today, that same coin could be the centerpiece of a world-class collection, locked away in a protective holder, admired not for what it could purchase but for the value of its story and rarity. For collectors and enthusiasts, the thrill lies in discovery. Some have stumbled upon 1997 nickels in everyday change, only to realize later that they were holding a treasure worth far more than its face value. Others have spent years hunting for the perfect example, attending auctions, visiting coin shows, and networking with fellow collectors. The pursuit of the 1997 nickel is not merely about owning a piece of metal but about participating in a larger tradition of history, preservation, and passion. The emotional power of this coin cannot be overstated. It represents resilience, endurance, and the blending of art and utility. It tells the story of a nation and its people, captured in a small but meaningful object. Collectors often say that coins are silent witnesses to history, and indeed, the 1997 nickel witnessed the turn of the century, the rise of the digital age, and the hopes and dreams of millions of Americans. To hold one is to connect with that history in a tangible, intimate way, and now comes the most breathtaking part of the story, the revelation that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike. While most 1997 nickels are worth only their face value, a select few, those in perfect condition, with flawless surfaces, rare errors, or exceptional provenance, have achieved unimaginable heights at auctions. These rare specimens, once worth only 5 cents, have been appraised and sold for astronomical sums. After decades of quiet circulation and careful preservation, the finest known examples of the 1997 5-cent coin have been valued at an astounding $22 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $22 million. From a small coin that once bought a piece of candy or a newspaper, to a collector's treasure that rivals the price of luxury estates, priceless paintings, and rare gemstones. This transformation is a testament to the power of rarity, the passion of collectors, and the extraordinary journey of a simple piece of currency. The 1997 nickel, once ordinary, is now extraordinary, a shining example of how history, art, and value intertwine. So the next time you see a nickel, take a closer look. It may be just another coin, or it may be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. For in the world of numismatics, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. And as we've seen today, the United States 5-cent coin from 1997 is not just worth millions, it is worth a staggering $22 million, making it one of the most extraordinary coins of modern American history.